Hi and welcome or welcome back to the Bookseller Everywhere. So right now it is the middle of March and I am starting to get excited for spring and summer. I mean, it's technically spring now. I think we've actually had our first day of spring and it definitely is getting a little bit warmer in the UK and the cherry blossom is like starting to come out a little bit. And my neighbour has like cherry blossom in their garden and I can see it, it's making me quite excited for spring and summer. I wouldn't say I have like a favourite season. I really enjoy all of the seasons. If I had to choose, maybe autumn, but my birthday's also in October, so that probably helps. But I really like autumn and spring because I feel like you're so excited for what's to come. Like, I always get so excited for summer in the early stages of spring, and I get so excited for winter in the early stages of autumn. So right now I am looking forward to the summer ahead. Looking forward to going back to the beach and the warmer weather and just being able to step outside and not feel like you have to put a coat on. I'm excited for the longer nights, the evening walks, it not getting dark straight after work and being able to just spend time outside in the warm. I'm really excited for that. There are so many things that I'm looking forward to, but I thought I would talk about books I want to read this spring today. So I definitely gravitate more towards romance contemporary in the spring and summer and fantasy sci-fi in the autumn winter. I feel like some people do that. I definitely do. I feel like I want the lighter reads in the summer and I want the more dark, cozy reads in the winter. So a lot of this TBR I have just picked up as mood reads from my shelves. What do I want to read in the next couple of months as I'm kind of getting excited for summer? So this is not necessarily like height of summer reads. There are some books I've left on my shelves because I want to save them for summer specifically. This is more like, what do I want to read as I'm getting into that period, as I'm getting excited for the summer season. So most of these are naturally romances and contemporaries. However, there are a couple of fantasies on here for whatever reason. I will take you through why I want to read these books, what these books are about. There are 15 of them here, so we should probably get started. So the first one on here I'm actually currently reading, and it is not a contemporary or a romance. This is Ted Chiang's Stories of Your Life and Others. The story of Your Life and Others is actually what the movie Arrival is based on, and I recently watched that movie with my friend Jeff. I really enjoyed it and we both wanted to read the short story that it's based on, and it is in this book, which is a collection of Ted's short stories. So it includes that story and it includes quite a few others. We have been a bit unconventional and we've gone to the middle of the book and read Story of Your Life, which I already have read, which is the one Arrival's based on. So I've read from here to there and now I've gone back and read the first story and I'm going to make my way through the book. So this has quite a few different sci-fi short stories in it that have completely different themes. Obviously from the synopsis of Arrival, which is these aliens that speak this complete other language and it's how these scientists are trying to communicate with them. And then the story I just read, which was about this Babylonian tower that goes from Earth up into heaven, and it's them trying to kind of navigate through this tower. It's really good so far. I was very intrigued going back to read the first story because reading the book that Arrival is set on, I couldn't help but have this love and admiration for it because I really liked Arrival. So going back to the first story, I was like, how is this going to come across when I don't have any background knowledge? But I really liked it. I had the same kind of ending that really surprised me and impressed me, so I'm really looking forward to finding out what the other short stories in this collection are about. Okay, no particular order, just picking these at random. The next one is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. As I said, there is going to be a lot of romance and contemporary on this list. I have wanted to read this for quite a while now, and I do have the second book in this series in the Illumicrate Afterlight version. I'm trying to track down this one in the Illumicrate Afterlight version, but I should probably also read the copy I have, which the publisher sent me, so thank you to them. So this is following Delilah Green, who lives in New York. She swore she'd never go back to her hometown of Bright Falls. She is a successful photographer living in New York and sleeping with a new woman every night. And then she is dragged back to Bright Falls to photograph her estranged stepsister's wedding. And there she meets Claire Sutherland. So she plans to just breeze in and breeze out to photograph this wedding and leave. But then she starts talking to this girl. They are thrown together in the wedding preparations and she's starting to feel like she doesn't want to resist Claire's charms anymore. I feel like this is going to be perfect for spring going into summer. It's a sapphic romance. I've heard really good things about this one and I'm excited to start on this series. The next one I want to pick up is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I've heard really good things about Emily Henry's writing, and one of my friends just read Happy Place, which is Emily Henry's upcoming release, so it's made me want to read this one even more. If I remember rightly, Illumicrate Afterlight are also bringing out editions of Emily Henry's books. Feel like I should probably give one of them a go before I commit to purchasing them, considering I already own one. So I feel like this one should be read sooner rather than later. It is blurbed by some authors I love, like Taylor Jenkins Reid, Ali Hazelwood, Beth O'Leary, Casey McQuiston. So many authors that I love. This one does say it's set in summer, but as I said, I should probably read it sooner rather than later. This is following Nora, who is a cutthroat literary agent at the top of her game, and Charlie, who is an editor with a gift for creating bestsellers. They are work nemesis. Nora has been through a lot of breakups and she is persuaded by her sister to swap her city desk for a month's holiday in Sunshine Falls, and then she bumps into Charlie. Says she's no heroine, he's no hero, so can they take a page out of an entirely different book? Sounds like it could be really good. I feel like I've been mixing this one up with Emily Henry's other book. I honestly thought this had a different synopsis, but that's you and me on vacation, so I've definitely been mixing those up. But I am excited to delve into this one, especially since my friend Charlotte read and really enjoyed Happy Place. The next one is Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney, and this one is following Monique, who lives a perfect life. As a preacher's daughter, she's girlfriend of the town's golden boy, but it's not that simple. She's torn between her parents, who want her to remain pure, and her boyfriend, who wants to be a bit more intimate and try some stuff in the bedroom. Dom gets tired of waiting for Monique and breaks up with her, and this spurs her to find out that she has a medical condition that makes her far from perfect. She teams up with Sasha, who is a church girl, and Reggie, who is the town's bad boy, and conducts a plan to get Dom back. But as she's going on this journey, she becomes closer to these two people in her life and finds out that maybe it's not really what she wants after all to win Dom back. This is not really one that would appeal to me normally because I am really out of the realms of YA. A lot of the time now I don't read as much YA as I used to. However, I actually read Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by this author last year and I loved it so much I could not put it down. So when the publisher Hotkey offered to send me this copy, I jumped at the chance. I would really like to read this one because, as I said, I just couldn't put it down. It had a maturity that I didn't expect as well, and I feel like this one could be similar. The next one is Front Desk by Kelly Yang, which is actually a middle grade, so I'm going back in age here, in age range here. And this one I've been thinking about for a long time. I've had this on my radar for a while because one of my friends actually bought it a while ago, which is when I first saw it, and then I believe the publisher Nights Of actually sent me this one and a few of the other books in the series, so I'm missing I think book 2. In this series there's now 4 or 5 books. I have books 1, 3 and 4 if I'm correct. I might have books 1, 2 and 4 and I'm missing 3, but either way, I'm missing one of the middle ones. But this one is following Mia Tang, who has a lot of secrets. She lives in a motel, not a big house. Her parents hide immigrants. She wants to be a writer. And she kind of works on this motel's front desk, I believe. I think she's 11 or 12 and her family run this motel. But I feel like this could be really, really good. I've heard really good things about this series and I feel like I should start it soon so I can actually read the series over the course of the summer, because I feel like this is quite a summery read for me. I don't know, just the fact that it's set in a motel, The cover feels very summery, so I would like to start this one soon so I can carry on with the series throughout the summer. The next one is 5 centimeters per second and Children Who Chase Lost Voices by Makoto Shinkai. This is a light novel version, I think, of the anime manga. I have read 5 centimeters per second. I have not read or seen Children Who Chase Lost Voices. I'm going to presume it is in some other format, presumably a short film, knowing Makoto Shinkai, but I'm not 100% sure. The reason I've put this on this list is because 5 centimeters per second has this central theme of cherry blossom, which I really associate with spring, and I would really like to read another one of these light novels very soon. I've read the Your Name one and the Weathering with You one. I haven't read The Place Promised in Our Early Days, but I do own it, and I haven't read this one yet. I've actually not come across Children Who Chase Lost Voices at all, but I have read the manga and I've seen the film of 5 centimeters per second. Makoto Shinkai writes kind of magical realism, often romance or friendships kind of transcending worlds or transcending years or time, something grander than us, something big, and this is kind of what 5 centimeters per second is about. And I imagine from just reading the small synopsis, Children Who Chase Lost Voices is probably quite similar. I am excited to delve into another of his works, and I'm looking forward to reading a graphic novel, a light novel as well, because the past few things I've read of his have been manga, so it'll be nice to get back into a light novel. The next one is The Switch by Beth O'Leary, and I've put this on here because I actually watched the Flatshare TV show, which is on Paramount Plus, with my mom the other week, and I loved it so much. It reminded me of how much I love Beth O'Leary's work, and I flew through the Flatshare. I just did not want to put that down. So I feel like The Switch could be very similar, and any of her other work could be very similar, so I wanted to pick this one up, or at least pick something else up by Beth O'Leary. This one is following Lena, who has this big presentation at work that she blows up. So she decides to escape to her grandmother's, Eileen's house, which is in Yorkshire, tiny Yorkshire village. And they end up having this kind of life swap, so her grandma actually moves to her London flat and she ends up in Yorkshire. And I think they just find out all these types of things about themselves by doing that and having these completely separate lives. Eileen is dating in London and loving it. She's on the online dating scene, and obviously Lena has escaped this London fast-paced lifestyle for a village lifestyle instead, and I feel like this one could be really, really good. I've definitely heard that a lot of people who've read all of Beth O'Leary's work think this is one of the poorer ones. Poorer seems bad because I'm sure it's still widely loved, but I think it's some people's least favourite of hers, but it's appealing to me right now, so I think I might pick this one up fairly soon. The next one I just had to put on here because it's Sinister Spring by Agatha Christie. This is a collection of short stories that have recently been released. This has only been out for a few weeks. Isn't it beautiful? I really want to do a video with this whole set, so I hope you guys want that video too, because I want to make it. But this is a cloth bound set that I collect, and this is the most recent addition to it, and this is following some spring tales from the Agatha Christie universe, if you will. So it says murder and mystery from the Queen of Crime. With spring comes April showers and blossoming fields, but wickedness is never far from the surface. With the turning of the year, Poirot, Marple, Tommy and Tuppence and many more of Agatha Christie's unforgettable creations tangle with a season of sinister schemes and perilous crimes. So I'm looking forward to picking this one up. I feel like I have to pick it up soon. I also have the Midwinter Murder one, which I have not managed to read this winter. So I need to get on this and make sure I actually read it in spring. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love the cherry blossom. The next one I want to read is Every Gift a Curse by Caroline O'Donoghue. This is the third and I think final book in the All Our Hidden Gifts series. Yeah, the final book in the New York Times best-selling All Our Hidden Gifts series, which I've read the first two. This is the most recent one, which has just come out, and me and my friends Jo and Amy have buddy read this entire series together, so we're hoping to buddy read this one fairly soon. I feel like I need to read it fairly soon because Otherwise, the events of the first 2 books will fall out of my brain, so I definitely need to do that. But the first book is following Maeve, who, if I'm remembering rightly, and it's been a while, so I apologise, she finds a tarot deck and she does these tarot readings in the basement of her school. She does this tarot reading for her ex-best friend that goes badly, and then her ex-best friend goes missing. And that's the plot of the first book. It's basically her trying to find out what has happened to her ex-best friend, and also discovering that this tarot deck has some kind of dark hidden secrets. And the story kind of goes on from there. It has a lovely found family element in their friendship group in this book. Also explores some really interesting, important themes as well, like gender identity, relationships, coming of age. It's really interesting. It's set in Ireland. Really enjoy these stories. I love this cover too. So yeah, need to finish this one up fairly soon. The next one is another Afterlight book, and it's Loath to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. This is a collection of novellas. This is the Steminist novella collection by Ali Hazelwood. I have now read everything she's written. Well, I've read Love on the Brain and The Love Hypothesis, and I've loved them. And I've also read Under One Roof, which is one of the short stories in here already, so I only have the 2 others to read. One of them is a polar fantasy? Not polar fantasy, it's polar romance. So I should probably read that before the end, well, the end of winter has gone, but you know, maybe while it's still a bit chilly I should read that one. I just want to make sure that I finish this one fairly soon, because I have already read one of the stories, so it kind of now I actually own the physical copy, I just feel like I'm partway through them, and I would like to just read the other 2 stories, and I really enjoy reading these, so I definitely want to pick it up sooner rather than later. The next book is Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater, and the reason this is on this list is because it comes out in April, so I really need to read this soon. I've had this proof copy for quite a while now, and it's really been appealing to me. I've heard really good things about this from early readers, and it sounds like it's going to be a really, really good hit. So I definitely need to pick it up soon, and as I said, it is being released in April. I can't remember the date. I don't know if I know the date, the exact date that it comes out, but it's next month, so I should try and get this on my TBR for next month. But this is following Roach, who is a lonely bookseller with a true crime murder podcast obsession. She's not really interested in making friends, but then Laura joins the bookshop that she works at. She has cute tote bags, she smells of roses, and she loves beautiful poetry. She's everyone's new favourite bookseller, but beneath the shiny veneer, Roach senses a darkness within Laura, the same one that she possesses, and it becomes clear quite quickly that she wants to infiltrate Laura's life. This one sounds like it's going to be sinister, and it includes books. It's set in a bookshop in Walthamstow, where I'm quite familiar with. So I definitely want to pick this one up soon. I don't know why I haven't yet. I really need to. I feel like it will really grip me as well, so I definitely want to put this on my April TBR if I can. The next one is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I was eyeing this up all last summer because I've been aware of this book for a long time, and I never really wanted to pick it up because it just felt like it wasn't really for me, and I don't know. It didn't really appeal, and then I read and watched To All the Boys I Loved Before, and I loved the Netflix adaptation so much, and then I read the books and I really enjoyed those too, and they're just such a comfort for me that when this came out on Prime last year, there's a Prime series of this, and then this new edition came out. I was eyeing it up for ages, and then I eventually picked it up way too late in the season, and I never picked it up in the summer, which I knew when I bought it that I wouldn't do it, but I still want to, so I'm glad I have it, and I'm hoping to read it in like late spring so I can watch the series over the summer, like early summer, so I'm excited for this one. It follows Belly, who has these 2 friends who are boys, which are Jeremiah and Conrad. Everything's good, magical, and they go to this beach house which they, I think, holiday at maybe every summer. So she's known the boys since her very first summer. They've been her brother figures, her crushes, and everything in between. And this one is kind of following a love triangle between the 3, I think. And there is actually a series of these books. This is just the first one. But I want to read this. I want to watch the TV show. Because it looks like it's so good, and I kept seeing the advert for it last year, the trailer for the series, and it looked really good, and I was like, I should read the book, I should watch the show, it'll make me feel all summery, so that's what I'm going to do this year. The next one is Transmogrify, 14 Fantastical Tales of Trans Magic, and this is, as you can see, written by quite a few different authors. It's not being released until May, so I do want to try and read it in the next few months before it's released, but there is a reason why I've included this in this video. So this one says, it's perfect for fans of All Out and Cemetery Boys. It's an anthology that claims a seat at the table of fantasy literature for trans and gender non-conforming stories. Looks like it's going to be so good. And I love the cover so much. But the reason I want to include this is because there is currently a trans rights readathon going on, and I found out about this readathon way too late to be a part of it. I couldn't plan a TBR, I don't really have the time to commit to doing the readathon right now that I want to do. But also, trans rights matter all the time. Like, I obviously want to put a spotlight on the fact that the trans rights readathon is happening right now. I will include links down below, and it's one of the reasons I've included this in this video, so I can actually put a spotlight on what's going on right now, and I will link some resources and information for the trans rights readathon below, so you can go and explore those and donate to some charities if you are able to. But I also just want to say that I would like to do a video when I can, when I actually have the time to commit in the next few months, where I read books by trans authors and put a spotlight on this outside of the readathon, because trans rights matter all the time. And although this readathon is obviously incredible, and I'm really glad that it's happening, and it feels like it's really kind of going round social media and Instagram, which is amazing, I would also like to read trans books all year round and not just in a specific time, so I'm hoping to read this one fairly soon. And I do appreciate that the trans rights readathon has put this into my head and has made me consider this, and there has been some really interesting discussions around that. It's obviously a really important thing that's happening right now, and as I said, have a look at the information that I will link down below. But also, check out this amazing book. I really want to read it soon, and hopefully I'll be able to read it in a vlog as well. The next one is Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell. This one I think has actually come out in the US now, because it had a release date in March. And even though this is not like a contemporary romance, there is obviously a few fantasy on here, more than I thought. This one is actually a cottagecore fantasy, and it looks so spring-like the flowers. It's just so pretty. I feel like it could definitely be a perfect one for spring. It says it's a standalone cottagecore fantasy romance for fans of Tamora Pierce and Margaret Rogerson. Neither of which I've actually read, but I do have a Margaret Rogerson book and some more on the way. So I really think I might really enjoy this one. It kind of also reminds me of this Poison Heart, who I've forgotten the author of, and I don't usually do that. Kaylin Bayron, the author of Cinderella is Dead, This Poison Heart, and These Wicked Ways. That's not what it's called. It's something similar to that. Honestly, I'm usually better at containing this information in my brain, but evidently not right now. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that series, because this one's following Clara, who has this wild magic where she makes flowers grow. It's never been dangerous before, and then she accidentally causes poisonous flowers to grow out of her father's chest. So obviously she puts him in danger, and she needs to cast a very difficult spell to heal him, and she needs the help of her best friend Xavier, who has recently become very distant and mysterious and is hiding quite a lot of secrets. She hunts for the truth behind these secrets that she's hiding and finds the root of a terrible darkness that's taken hold in the queendom, a darkness only her magic is powerful enough to stop. Sounds like it's going to be really good, really encompassing, and what a story that I definitely want to kind of wrap around myself, if that makes sense. So Definitely want to pick this one up soon. Watch me say this for all of these books and then read like half of them this spring. We'll see. The next one and the last one on this list is Mount With You by Jennifer Duggan. I read Some Girls Do by Jennifer Duggan, I think later last year. Might have even been autumn by the time I picked it up. And these books definitely have a spring summer feeling for me. I picked these up at Yark last year, so I have 3 of her books. I have Verona Comics, Some Girls Do, and Mount With You. They are an absolutely beautiful set that I love so much. They are very, very pretty. I think Jennifer Duggan's books are all sapphic romance, and this one sounds like it's going to be amazing. This one is following Fallon and Chloe, who are best friends. They were best friends, then they hooked up just before Chloe left for college, and there's this series of misunderstandings because of what happened before Chloe went to college. Now she's back and Fallon is trying to avoid her, but their moms own this ice cream truck together. They are dragged away, they can't work in the truck, and they basically send the girls off on this road trip selling ice cream. Road trip in an ice cream van, sapphic romance. Honestly, this sounds like it would be amazing. I love road trip romances. I don't know why, such a niche I absolutely love, so I'm very excited to read this one. And that is all of the books that I want to read this spring. There is obviously so many books. I want to read all the books this spring. All the books in this room I constantly want to read. But those are the ones when looking at my shelf I kind of jump out as ones that I would like to pick up fairly soon, for many, many different reasons, as I've said in this video. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed finding out what I want to read in the next few months. Let me know in the comments what you want to read in the next few months, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!